Please.
Thank you, Mr. Usher.
Okay, so just very quickly, we were talking about how happy we are that the children have settled in. We're lucky enough to have our nurturing lead in year 3 within my class, Mrs. Edwards. We have mindfulness sessions every day. We have an opportunity for children to check in with how they're feeling in each particular day, and any child that is expressing in those buckets that they put their response into at the beginning of the day, we actively take out and we try and talk to them at some point during the day, as early as we can, to address any particular issues or concerns that they may have, just letting another adult into the classroom. We talked a little bit about a balanced curriculum. Ali, do you want to just mention this one very quickly?
Across the country, there's a debate raging between whether it's just a purely catch-up curriculum, focus on the English and the maths and spellings and phonics, or whether children should be entitled to a part catch-up and other subjects such as the history, the geography, music and PE. Now, our senior leadership team with our governing body have come up with a slight catch-up with also a broad curriculum too. So it doesn't just purely focus on English and maths, but children that have talents within art, within PE. We have time for PSHE and far more mindfulness. So it isn't just purely focused on English and maths.
Yeah. So the biggest drive is getting their mental state back as far as we possibly can, and trying to address any of the, to a large extent, unpredictable emotional concerns and displays that they may have as a result of this period of time that we've been through. They will be doing the Key Stage 1 SATs again in October, and that's going to be in a low pressure environment, and it's very much designed around just informing us, well, what do they actually know, what have they missed out on, where are the gaps. So we have an opportunity in maths and English particularly to start addressing those gaps. If that takes the form of intervention groups, for example, in either subject, then we're talking as a school about how we can address those. So purely focusing on those gaps. What we don't want to do is just try and second guess. We know some children have been able to do more than others during the period of lockdown. We can't second guess that. So the only way that we can do it is through the test, and then adjusting that in as agile manner as we can once we've seen where the gaps are.
Medical, this is quite important. In both of our classes we have children who have life-threatening reactions to nuts, to berries, to other allergens as well. Please, can you make sure that when you put anything into their snacks, which would be fruit, vegetables, hard cheese, rice cake or breadsticks for the morning, that it doesn't have any link to any nuts, and same with the afternoon lunch as well. Our children do sit in their class bubbles. We try and make sure that those children that have an allergy, say they're celiac, have a bit of space, so they don't return to a classroom where somebody's eaten. So we're managing that at the moment with our lunchtime staff. But please, can you make sure definitely no nut products in school. The other thing is, if your child over the lockdown has needed a new inhaler, or it needs updating, or any other kind of medical need, please send it into the office with really detailed notes, so that as teachers we know what we're following, when we need to give it, what the triggers are. All of the inhalers and the EpiPens and such are now kept in class in our red first aid bag, so they are immediately to hand and they come out with us whenever we leave the classroom.
Okay, so just in terms of equipment, so as much as possible, children have got their own packs. So they've got packs of their pencils, their pens, their whiteboards. We're trying as much as we possibly can to try and minimize the amount of contact that children have with the surfaces that they've touched. There's a limit to how much we can do that in reality. They're keeping to their own equipment. They're having their hands washed every time they basically come into the classroom and leave the classroom. So that's when they come in the morning, before break, where they come out from break. The tables and chairs are all washed down with antibacterial equipment before they go to break, before they leave in the evening as well. So everything is geared up as much as we possibly can to minimising the amount of touch that children and staff are sharing within the school. Very quickly on the PE is on a Thursday and a Friday. They stick within their year groups. They're taught by Mr. Fisher on a Thursday. They're taught by either myself or Mrs. Smith in 3 Ash on a Friday. PE kits do need to go home on a Friday.
Okay.
The curriculum, obviously we've got a little bit of a limited amount of time, but as Ali, Mrs. Hatherley has already said, we're trying to keep it as broad as we possibly can based on the curriculum that we were honing last year. The writing is focused around the curriculum topics. For example, at this period of time, we're doing Greeks. We're doing Greeks as a topic, as a learning journey. We're also writing about Greek gods as a fact file at the moment.
With our learning journeys, as Mr. Hewitt has just said, our focus this half term is around ancient Greece, looking at myths and legends, finding out about how people lived, how we know that they lived, what things were left behind. And we're going on to next half term looking at tremors, so volcanoes and earthquakes across the world, particularly focusing on Pompeii.
Okay, we better quickly move on to the home learning, because obviously this is quite important. In terms of what there has been some messages that have been sent out. Just to be clear, spellings are going out on Friday. All the children have sat a spelling test. We will be sending home a sheet with highlights of the words, the statutory words from the years 3 and 4 word list. The highlighted words are the ones that they spelt correctly. We ask that you practice with them the spellings that they didn't, and we'll be working on teaching them those spelling patterns throughout spelling lessons over the course of the year. We send out a topic grid. There should have been a letter that's going out on this. You should have had contact about the Times Table Rock Stars, which most of the children throughout the school have been doing,
really
and are really enjoying it. Mr. Fox has sorted out new logons for year 3, so if any parent hasn't received the logons, or the child has maybe lost them on the way home,
just let us know.
Please contact them. One of the things that we've done this year that we've introduced, as Mrs. Hatherley is showing you, we're sending out an English grammar, punctuation and spelling book based around the individual year groups. That'll go out again with the spellings this week. We ask you to work through the highlighted section that we're concentrating on that as an area of work, area of grammar or punctuation that we're teaching in class in that week, and we ask you to go through it again. There'll be email confirmation about that. Quickly moving on, because we're into the last 8 minutes.
Okay, suggestion, same as you would have done in year 2. Reading at home is really, really important. We can see that there's a marked difference in children that read for enjoyment at home, whether it be a newspaper, a book, it can be a comic. It doesn't just have to be what they bring home from school. So please try and join a local library, or even go online and download some books or some talking books there. I know that my children love listening to the CDs, the story CDs at night before they went to bed.
Okay, we'll move on from this. Okay, so expectations of behaviour, rewards, and consequences. You know, obviously we've been quite relaxed with the children since they've come back, because obviously in year 3 it's a new school environment, is different environment than any children have experienced before. But we know, the educationalists know, that children feel safe when they know what the boundaries are, they know what the rules are, and we've started to become harder about how we're enforcing those for the children in the class at the moment. So they may be coming home and saying it's beginning to get a little bit strict. Our experience of teaching in Key Stage 2 children is that over time children understand exactly what the boundaries are, and then when they're operating within the rules that are clearly outlined in the classroom and verbally, then work expectations are higher, they're producing better work, and they're feeling safer as a consequence at the same time.
We give them lots and lots of verbal reminders, rewards, praise and such alongside, and only would go to our red and yellow cards if we really need to. That'll be after quite a bit of reminding and encouraging children to focus on the right thing.
Okay, absolutely. So there's a parents' evening. What form that takes at the moment, we're going to have to see what's happening as far as the stages of the pandemic are. At the moment, it's scheduled for the 21st of October and the 22nd. As I say, we'll see what form that takes when we get there.
Now, dates for your diary, there'll be a letter going out on Friday about a Greek day on Thursday, the 1st of October, where children are encouraged, if they wish to come in dressed as a Greek. Now, we do have a Roman day in Year 4 as well, so if you know any Year 4 children, it might be worth borrowing the toga from them. Or if you want to go to Amazon Prime and choose a special costume for your child, which we don't insist that you have to, may I suggest that find maybe a Roman / Greek toga that you could use for next year as well.
Okay, so all these dates clearly are provisional at this stage. Information, you should have received information from us either mainly via emails or letters home. We ask, as Ali mentioned earlier, any medication, any particulars, that you contact the office. Contact the office if the children are going to be picked up by somebody that's different from what was agreed at the beginning of the time, and we post information on the school website. We're also going to be posting information about what the school's provision are should we move to any other stage of lockdown, whether that's within a year group, whether that's for individual children, or whether that's as a whole school. So that'll be coming out next week. So I'm really sorry, we've only got 4 minutes to answer questions. So I know most of these are going to need to be answered via email or via individual contact with the school. Could I ask if there's anybody that has a particular pressing question that they would like an answer to right now?
If not, email into the school office. It then gets forwarded to us straight away. That's always the best way to contact us, because of course we can't now have long conversations out on the playground due to COVID. And if we're away for any reason or on a course, that somebody in the office will notice that there is an email for us. If we're not in, they will act on our behalf.
Okay, let me see.
Have a check and see if anybody's got any particular pressing questions. Any thumbs up at all? Click on them. Now, we're ever so sorry that we had technical problems earlier. That's the first time that's happened after many Zooms ourselves. And say if they do want to ask any particular questions, please email into us and we'll get back to you with an answer as soon as we can.
Okay. So, did anybody have any questions?
Only just to check, this will be emailed to us, will it, this presentation, or?
This presentation has been recorded.
Oh, okay.
So there should be a link sent accessing the recording, and
okay.
see the missed voices earlier. Okay. Did anybody else have a question that they would like?
Yeah, I've just got a quick question. Just in regards to the daily 1 mile runs, I think the children since returning to school have been doing that daily each morning.
Yep, we've actually moved the Year 3s to be doing it in the afternoon, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, because it was straight after break and they've already had a break in the mornings. We felt that it was better for them breaking it up in the afternoons. They do PE on a Thursday and Friday, so they'll still be doing it on a Thursday and Friday. Yesterday we didn't do it. It was incredibly hot and we ran out of time, but other than that, we've done it every day.
Okay. And just to understand the logic behind that, in addition to the PE each week, so that's 5 times a week. Obviously, I believe also the 3 that you're doing per mile is in school clothes as well.
Yeah, it is in school clothes, but there's no insistence that the children are running. It's basically it's all about keeping them active, keeping their brains working, and dealing with children that are feeling pressure through coming back into a different environment and being effectively cooped up for long periods of time without the opportunity to express themselves or move. So they're short. They don't insist on, they're not, you know, they're not exercises that you would want to get out of breath by, unless you choose otherwise. They're just about helping the mental state of the children.
Miss Stewart, I'm really grateful for the explanation on that. And it does make sense about the confinement of the classroom and their mental well-being. Obviously, from a parent's perspective, obviously the children being out of school for 6 months or so, obviously fundamentally the education is of concern to all of us right now, and I'm sure yourselves as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, our view as educationalists is that children have to be in the right mental state to be able to learn, and that's the driver behind that. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, I've just been told we're running out of time, and can we upgrade, which we can't do. So thanks for joining. Apologies for the technical issues at the beginning, and yeah, we look forward to any questions that you have being emailed to us.
And we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of those, it's such a small number.
Why is it not giving me that option?